Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right, welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I'm going to tell you is brought to you by Dispose LLC. This is a garbage company that's been doing great things. It ain't just because what I say, it's about what I do. Yes. All you got to do is go to the website. Just type in that bad boy, Dispose LLC, and you'll see our great website that's going to make it quite easy for you. Why? Because you don't even have to call us. You can sit there and actually order the cans. I'm trying to come up with future videos to help show you what you can be getting, for you can be knowledgeable. These are things that we're trying to do just for you. So try us out at Dispose LLC.
Yes.
Now, not to mention, I might be the one that you might actually get with. That's right. Back to the person I've been rocking with for now, over 4 years. Been holding me down, doing this. Craftmatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
You're doing good, Jay.
You still smiling, player.
Listen, the smile has to be the light, you know? The
Yeah,
smile
that's
has to
what
be
that
the
is.
light. That's what that is. Plus, I got joy in my spirit.
I like that, Joe.
My father gave me, the spirit of joy.
Uh-huh.
My family, very laughing, loving family, and we don't like problems, and we don't lay around, fussing and troubling about problems. Man, we just keep a smile on our face, man.
Okay,
So
I like that.
it's in my spirit,
I like
So
that.
I'm doing good, man. Life is well. Still grinding.
Okay.
Got a lot of great things on the horizon. So I'm well, man. How are you, Jay?
Man, I'm going to tell you, man. I struggle with a lot of different things, but I'm realizing as I struggle, the struggles are getting easier. Because
Yes.
it seems like I'm starting to realize some of my problems is I wasn't recognized. You gotta trip up a little bit and realize that I wasn't looking down in the first place. I thought I could just look up and see it all, but I forgot that there's a place I'm going to. So sometimes I gotta look around. I gotta keep my head on the swivel.
Yes.
So as I look, I'm realizing, some of my past mistakes is because I didn't even see what I was doing.
Yes.
So now that I'm in a better place, I like to say a little bit more knowledgeable, I'm in a spot now that I'm using that knowledge and saying, hey, that ain't a good move. Before I even make it, it's like, that's not a good move. I'm not going to do it. Like somebody want to come argue with me. It's not going to get us anywhere.
Right.
You're going to pay me what you owe me.
Right.
So there's no need of you arguing about why you can't.
Right.
That right there is only going to aggravate me.
Right.
And it's not going to help us. So at that point, I kind of remove myself and say, well, if you need some time, take some time and figure it out.
Yeah.
Because it's not right for me to have to figure it out for you. And that's why I said you got to move differently. Because, see, they want to occupy you because you don't care.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to care that you can't pay me? I mean, I don't understand why I'm supposed to get my feelings involved with your situation when you knew what was up and coming.
Right.
You needed the service, it was done. It was rendered. It was all good. Now all of a sudden you can't pay. But now you want to argue with me.
Right.
Get me off.
Listen. You are well underway.
Okay, I got it.
A good Bar Talk with Jay. So let me properly introduce ourselves. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we are simply here to liberate your mind and your spirit with a fantastic dialogue. Something that's real, something that's can edifying to the spirit, something that will help you become your greatest possibility. And of course, we hope that you can participate in this show from your own seat, wherever you may be, whenever you may be listening to this program, by just asking yourself, how would you handle these situations that we're talking about? What's your opinions? Listen to our opinions, our stories. Really find a way to connect with the ideas that we're sharing so that it can better you, sitting right where you are. So we're so glad you're here tonight. And, of course, we always start our show off with a prayer. Didn't know, Jay, if you want to...
Man, you hit him earlier, man. Hit him again. And the Cash App is Bar Talk with Jay. Or Jeremiah Harvard with the cash sign in front. Just saying.
Okay.
We doing it. Give it to him, Craig.
All right. So Barb always puts the title or the topic of our prayer together. Tonight she wants to pray about harmony.
Ooh.
And so I'm just asking Heavenly Father that you would come into this place and hear our prayers, that you would understand the depth and breadth of our request during this prayer. And we ask Heavenly Father that you would renew us in the spirit of harmony. We ask, Father, that you would reveal a greater spirit of togetherness and oneness. We ask, Father, that you would reveal a tranquility and a peace within our spirit that makes us undivided. That's undivided inside of us, Lord. We're not talking about the world and the world view, but keep us whole and complete on the inside. Let us be congruent with ourselves. Let us say we're going to do something and do it. Let us believe in something and have faith and trust to get it done. We ask, Father, that you would just place a healing in our minds and a healing in our spirits and give us this oneness and this unity and this whole spirit of harmony and peace. We ask, Father, that you would bless this show with the right words, speak through us as we deliver this great message to the world. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Woo!
Amen.
You did that.
That was good.
Touch him, Crab. Touch him!
Yeah, I ain't even talk about the other side. Let me just talk about it while I'm
Go
right
ahead,
here. In when you pray, you're reaching for something. You're just using your words to reach for the things that you desire. And we reached for oneness and unity and togetherness, but we also have to cast away disagreement. And we have to cast away discord and hatred and incompatibility. We have to cast away imbalance and fighting and disruption and disagreement in our relationships. We have to rebuke those spirits, and thereby we're reaching for the greater, and we're casting down that which is not.
Okay.
Right. The whole point of prayer is to sometimes you got to pray to overcome dark spirits. Sometimes you pray for great peace and joy. And even though they're one and the same, you got to reach wherever your mind may be at the time. Whatever you may be concerned about in your spirit is what you reach for. If you're sitting in a place where most people I don't even think know that they're full of fear. They're just operating in fear. But if you know that you're full of fear, then you have to start casting fear out. You have to say, fear, you are not welcome here, and you must go right now. See, that fear is just as real as this table and that wall over there. But if you don't address it, then it's standing before you, hindering your path, and you haven't even dealt with it. Deal with fear. Speak directly to it and tell it to be nullified and void and bound and cast out into the bottom of the sea, to no more have any expression in your life at all. So this whole point of prayer, man, is about liberating spirit. You started the show off talking about your struggles getting easier.
Yes.
And I can tell you, man, I have epitomized that my struggles are so easy because I attack everything in prayer. Right? And I've just learned that is the way. That's the only way that gives me supernatural results.
Okay.
And I live a supernatural life. Anybody who knows me will tell you somehow my life is just absolutely beautiful, and I don't take no credit for it.
Okay.
I believe the Lord is always blessing me, And so, I live by prayer, and I'm encouraging you all to live by prayer. Your struggles will most certainly get easier. You know what I mean? Now, of course, last week we celebrated the holiday.
What?
And it was a joyous occasion. We celebrated Thanksgiving.
How was yours?
And, man, I had a blessed Thanksgiving, man. I was around a lot of beautiful people.
All right.
And ate, a couple of great meals and was full all day, had a few cocktails. It was lovely, man. It was lovely. How about yours, Jay?
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing, yo. I mean, I can't even sit here in front. Man, I ate and passed out, bro. I had the itis for real. I waited on the food, went to eat, man. I'm enjoying myself, man. And all of a sudden, I don't know how to really describe this, but I passed out.
You passed out?
I mean, I ate, and I was like, I'm going to go back and get another plate. I said, okay, let me sit back, maybe watch a little football. And I passed out.
So what time did you pass out?
It wasn't early. I mean, it was early. It was about maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock.
And then, that's probably normal for people around the world.
It can be, but I had a plan. And my plan was to enjoy the meal and have fun with the family. And my little nephew was looking at me, and he like, you all right, Uncle? I don't think so. Uncle went down for the count.
Did you do something the night before?
Man, a little bit of work, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And then I was able to spend some time with my brother before Thanksgiving. That earlier morning, we was deep frying the turkey together.
Yeah.
So then I get back, this Corona. We trying to keep everything kind of separate, so we didn't bring the whole family together, just to let y'all know, for y'all don't be worried, because we are cautious right now at these times. So it was a small gathering. This is my immediate family. And I just thought we was going to stay up, play cards, try to make it more of a family thing. and it didn't work out too well.
The bird got you, bro.
Immediately.
The
I mean,
bird got you.
I thought I was equipped to be able to eat a meal or two.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy.
It didn't work out well for me, bro.
Yeah. Well, listen,
It's embarrassing.
the Lord needs to lay you down. That's what.
He laid me down.
That's
It
what
was embarrassing to lay it down. I
So-
wanted him to let me back up.
So yeah, it was a great celebration, and for those of you who are watching this at different times, just we just want to encouraging you to enjoy your celebrations. Enjoy your celebrations with family. Life is so what's the word, Jay?
What you want to say?
You just don't know. You just don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, and don't look back on tomorrow and say I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Find some joy in today. Find some joy in today in this season of celebrations. We are preparing to celebrate Christmas for those of you who may be watching at various times. And I think the next quote really has a lot to do with that. And so let me read it. It just simply goes like this. Never judge someone without knowing the whole story. You may think you understand, but you don't.
I like to say that's profound.
Humbling.
Because a lot of time we judge things by our past experience before we really experience them at all. And I don't like always doing it. But again, if you come at me a certain way, I'm going to use my prior knowledge, how I deal with things, and how you're coming at me is how I'm going to categorize you.
Right.
So if you come foul, then automatically you're going to get a response back that is probably going to meet your aggression.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, I don't quickly want to judge, but watch how you give it to me.
Yeah, I want to look beyond the surface of things on this one because, this is one of those things where we have a tendency of looking at people and from their outer expression, we begin to determine who they are in and of themselves, right? So have you ever walked into the house of someone who had a very dirty house? They had a very dirty house, and they were the whole place was just chaos. The papers everywhere, and everything just horrible.
Right.
You could easily probably judge them as bad people, but they aren't.
No,
They're just nasty.
It's nasty.
But when it says here, never judge without knowing the whole story, you don't know what they came up in. See, those behaviors that they exemplify, as bad as they are, they learned them from somewhere. And they may have been living in filth for years before they can control their own environment. They don't know any better. They've never taught any better. But that doesn't mean that they're bad people. Right? And so that's an example. That's where we have to look beyond the surface of things. When you see someone standing out there asking you for money, you'll never know their whole story. You'll never know their whole story. But what you do know is that they landed in a position where they needed to ask for money.
Some people, because some of them out there, gets in a Mercedes.
Yeah.
They hold on to that
Yeah, we ain't
sign.
talking about the hustlers, but we're talking about, there's a lot of homeless people in the world.
It is.
There's a lot of people running game in that circle, but, when you look at a homeless person, don't judge them. If somebody don't have their hair looking nice, don't judge them. Somebody doesn't have a nice car, don't judge them. Somebody's not doing what you're doing, don't judge them. Try to find a Christ-like empathy for people, and go ahead, Jim.
No, I'm embarrassed because you said don't judge them. Bro, come on now. You see some of them people, man, with them eyelashes out like brooms?
And women?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the hair look like, yeah, come on now. Some
Listen.
things I don't want to
Listen.
judge, but it gets to be a bird on the eye. I'm like, come on. Nobody even want to tell you what your ass look like before you walk out that house.
See, that's the point I'm talking about here, right?
Help me.
We got to start seeing beyond the surface.
I agree.
Right? As weird or ugly or as insane as that outfit or that hair or that makeup may be,
right?
She may be just like your little niece who will fix you a nice meal and take care of uncle. You know what I mean? You don't have to be in her pants. You got to find a way to see something good about her. And she might be very talented in, the world of business. She may be an architect. She may be in business. She may be in accounting. She may be doing, some neat things that elevate the world. So we would judge her whole spirit by her appearance if we didn't look beyond the surface. right?
I agree.
And what she learned, if she's perhaps ghetto or she shows too much or all of this, these are not behaviors that happened overnight. These are things that have happened over many years. And she may be dealing with self-esteem issues. She may be dealing with money problems. She may be dealing with any number of things, but you'll never know. And so just try not to cast people away. I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
the
I like
thing.
that because I don't try to cast away.
Don't throw people away.
No,
you know?
but sometimes I have to, keep
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be real.
Listen.
My whole thing is it ain't about having to be all original, not having none of that. My whole thing is I always like when somebody holds themselves in a way that they want everybody to see them. So in a positive, great way. Sometimes I think people like to go overboard because they watch others and they want to be something other than what they are. That's where I feel like it can be a little embarrassing. And that's where I would like for a good friend to be like, hey, you know something, you don't need to do all that. Because a lot of times we do too much. So that's how I be feeling.
Yeah. And listen, it is just about time for us to go to our first break.
All right.
And I got such a powerful example for that. And I want to save it
Come back
for
for
the next segment. Tonight's topic, we are talking about in a relationship, do you know your position?
Mm-hmm.
People sometimes overplay their area.
Mm.
What's your take on this? That's what we're going to talk about tonight on Bar Talk with Jay. And I never hooked up. Yeah, I did hook up. I'm good. So we're going to go ahead and take our first break. You folks stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
But again, we just want to introduce y'all to a person that's been on and off the show a whole lot. Buddha made it in the building. Buddha, how you doing tonight, big baby?
What's going on, Jay? What's going on, Craft?
Holding on, man. I ain't seen you in a little while. Boy.
Yeah, man. Third shift.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, I know how that is, man.
Now I'm on first, and I can come out and play a little bit on the show.
Oh.
You know you can't do that.
Oh, okay.
You on lock, Jay?
Yeah, you know the white watch. He can't do that.
Okay.
Wife is wife.
Yeah, he can't do
I can't
that.
play on the show. I can't play on the show.
He can't do that.
Yeah, don't get yourself in no trouble, man.
Okay.
So listen, we had a great first segment and a long delay, so we're ready to get down to business and get back on track here. Tonight we are talking about, in a relationship, do you know your position? Sometimes people overplay their position. Now, I want to know where this came from, Jay. Okay? Where did this topic come from?
You know, a lot of it came from staying in your lane. I was dealing with a lot of people that was out of their position. They was doing all kind of things. Running road. I like to say, like you said, don't judge them because of the fact nobody ever showed them. But it made me realize that, some of the problems come from you don't really know how to act. You've never been around somebody to really show you some things. But now I'm stuck with the burden of dealing with something that I didn't even think I would have to do. I thought this was like automatically. Everybody's just in tune this way, and no, it's not. So now I got somebody that's all out there, like all in everybody else's business, and want to bring it to me and thinking that's gonna make a happy home for me. How does it gonna make me happy? Everybody, you and everybody else, and you're not paying attention to what you need to be doing in front of you. So if you pay more attention, we'll be going down a path together. You want to be in everybody else's. So I was like, hey man, how about we learn how to stay in our lane? Quit thinking we can fix everybody else's problem when you can't even fix your own. So it's a reflection. I don't want nobody to know about mine, so I'm in everybody else's. Okay. It gets to be confusing to me.
Yeah.
So now that you're so good about this relationship thing, I'm trying to figure out why you're not good with me.
Mm-hmm.
You're so quick to tell me about your friends, but I'm not knowing you.
Okay.
That's why I say let's understand lane, because sometimes we all in everybody else's. Not recognizing, but I do recognize.
Yeah, and one of the first things that came up for me when I read this topic is, stay in your lane. That was the very first thing that came to my mind. Especially in a relationship, right? There's your business and there's my business. right? And I think crossing the lane is when somebody try to tell you about your business, or somebody try to get in your business and maybe tell your business, or try to solve your problems, or help you in certain ways without you knowing,
Your business.
right? You know, I don't know how big a problem that is in the world. Is that a huge problem in the world?
I can't say with everybody, but I know some things that definitely got brought to my attention. I've dealt with. How you feel over there, Phil?
Well,
Say something.
when I think about, knowing your position and playing your position, I think about single fathers and single mothers.
Okay.
In regards to, when it comes up on Mother's Day and Father's Day, the single mother is like, I'm the mother and the father. No.
Oh,
No.
Right.
Know your position.
Okay.
Your position is the mother.
Right.
The father, single father, is not trying to get credit for Mother's Day and Father's Day. He know his position.
Okay.
So your position is who you are, and that is a female.
Okay.
Stay in your lane. That's your position.
Okay.
That's your role.
Now,
You can't be the male. You can't be the female. You can be the female, but you can't be both.
Right.
Yeah, make a choice.
It's hey.
Right.
If
Now,
you want to be the male and you're a female and you decide to be, go to the alphabet crew,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you get placed in the male's position, when the bouncer grabs, then you want to be like, I'm a female. Now you want to be a female. Hold on. Pick your lane.
stay in your lane.
Know your position. Because I know as a bouncer, you run up against, the alphabet crew.
Right.
And, when the altercation comes, then, you grab them, they want to be a female then, but hold on, you looking like little Billy Bob over here. But now you feel like little Billy Bob. But now when I put these man hands on you, then you want to be feminine. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Your position and your lane.
Okay. Now listen. I'm gonna just say that there are many women who are single moms who probably could never do what a man could do, but they still have to stand in many of those gaps of trying to teach their young man how to be a young man. And so there are women who say, well, I do those manly things. I take out the garbage in my house. You know what I'm saying? I pay the bills around here.
Yeah, she only taking the garbage out until that son get old enough to take the garbage out. Because, like you said, the only thing she doing is standing in the gap.
Yeah, she's standing in the gap, but she wants credit for that on Father's Day.
Oh, she can get credit for it on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
She don't get credit for it on Father's Day.
Yeah, she might. The world might not give her credit, but she wants credit.
Hey, it's like this.
And if she teaching her child the wrong thing, her child gonna give her credit for it too. And celebrating.
Say her, say what?
No, you're wrong. Mark always got nothing to do with that. I rebuke that. I don't know where that go come lately.
Crowd said, I said, look, if she playing the male and female role,
Stop it.
her son gonna get credit for her paying both.
Yeah, you got such a horrible mind. Your mind really going in the gutter, man.
That's not in the gutter.
Participating.
I mean, come on.
That's gutter, man.
Come on.
That's gutter.
Now
I'm trying to have a functional conversation.
It is a functional conversation. You know something.
If you want to talk about the Letterman, you know what I'm saying? But
You know,
that's not what we're talking
it's facts that
Right.
some of the dudes that was raised by single women, and the woman wanted to take credit for being a man and a woman. Her son showed her she got credit for being a man and a woman.
Listen, I can't deny that happens.
That's all I'm saying.
I know. Why you want to talk about that, man?
You said it.
No, that's not what I was talking about, man. You twisted words. I'm not going to have a feminine conversation with you, man. You twisted all what I said completely.
That's a ship conversation.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, sorry. I need to be PC. That's a unisex conversation. Better. Oh, okay.
All I can say is I'm not qualified to go there
I'm
on that end.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is stay in your lane. It's just really, it could be over judgment as well. Now, for a person that's standing in the gap, I'm not saying they completely out their lane because they got to do the best they can. But when I say totally out your lane is when you all in somebody else's business. When you taking what's going on with you and then you want to reflect it back to somebody else because I don't want to deal with us. So in a relationship, normally we're going to have some rocky times.
Mm-hmm.
And them times, I noticed that you're spending more time with your girlfriend and her problems than dealing with our own. So now I have to come home thinking that we're going to start dealing more with our own and I'm all in somebody else's. So now bedtime talk, instead of enhancing us, I'm enhancing a conversation about somebody else. Now I'm going to entertain the conversation because it's still with the person I'm trying to get closer to.
Right. But they want to talk about some movie.
But all they want to do is talk about somebody else's and your opinion on all of them, but we're not fixing us.
Yeah.
And that's why I say we all out our lane. You all over there and you getting upset about what's going on over there, but we still dealing with problems over here.
Yeah.
So night after night, we're not resolving anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting further in somebody else's business that I don't really care to resolve or get into. I want to fix what goes around in my inner circle, but now you're making my circle bigger. Now I'm starting to know them and their problems, and that was not my intention. My intention is to work within. They want you to work without because
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to deal with what's you because you're overly aggressive. You don't listen to what I gotta say, but you're not addressing and we're not fixing. So you're just reflecting and you're running. And now I have to run after you. And now all of a sudden I'm taking more time out my way to talk to other people about their problems when I ain't even fixing my own. I'm becoming a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I'm giving advice to somebody and I can't even fix what I got at home. I got this one nutty buddy acting crazy, and I'm over here trying to give you advice about your girl, which seems like she might be all right, but mine is ad-libbing, giving me all this extra that I can't verify, nor do I want to. So now I'm talking to a person that's be like, how do you deal with yours? I haven't.
Yeah.
She too busy telling me about yours. So now I'm kind of lost. And that's what happens when you stay out your lanes. Because that's what happens when you want to be the Joneses and you want to talk about this and you want to be that and you ain't understanding you.
Very powerful, man. I wrote down some areas that we should cover, throughout this show. Boo, I want you to keep us on time, if you will, please. Give us a couple minutes notice and we'll close out. So, when you think about the question, do you know your position? In a relationship, what is a man's position? What is the position that a man holds in a relationship? How would you describe that, fellas?
Why are you sitting over there nervous, sir, Phil?
No, I'm not nervous. I'm listening.
Yeah.
So, what is it? In your
Provide
eyes?
protection.
I like to say those are key.
Okay.
I like to say they're very key.
Okay.
And it's some of the things that I don't think we really look at on the upfront.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why some people don't really give us credit.
And so, what is the woman's position? What does the woman position hold?
Nurture and multiply.
Okay.
You know, I said women are multipliers.
Yeah.
So again, nurture and multiply.
Okay.
So
Okay.
again, if he's protecting and he's giving, she could multiply all the things that he's doing. So they're working as a unit.
Okay.
Now, is that really goes on in a relationship? I like to say probably not.
Yeah.
But because everybody got their own concept.
Mm-hmm.
We got free will to be able to think differently.
Right.
And I like that. But we should be able to come and unify with some things. And that will become great. That's why we can sit here and have a conversation and we can enhance one another.
Mm-hmm.
It's because now we're more open-minded to be able to receive more information. But no, I don't want to hear because I already know. And that's where I become stubborn. Now, I'm stubborn, so how do you think that makes my mate feel? That multiplies. Now, she's supposed to multiply what I do, but I'm stubborn, I'm not giving.
Right.
You can't grow if you know everything.
You cannot grow if you know everything. That's exactly right. And see, and that's, I don't know how I'm going to describe this, but
Mhm.
for someone who won't entertain new ideas, getting them to play their position is sometimes difficult.
They're stagnant.
Right? They're stagnant. Right? They're not willing to change. They're not willing to grow. They're not willing to move up. They're not willing to entertain a new idea. And that,
change.
yeah, and that can be very, very challenging because the other person is always feeling like they're pulling,
Yeah.
they're tugging. They gotta always wait for the other person, right? And that becomes it becomes a problem in the relationship, and it affects almost everything else.
Exactly.
There's typically one person in a relationship that has a slower pace. And the other person has a faster pace, right?
Sure.
And you gotta pull those two together. And so part of playing your position is taking ownership.
Also,
Right.
part of playing your position is understanding that in order to play your position, you have to understand that you want a team.
Outstanding.
Because if you don't understand the duality of a team, you're going to fall short anyway.
Right.
In regards to knowing your position.
Right. And see,
Because with knowing your position, you also have to understand that and realize when it's time for me to take a step back
when it's not
and let my teammate work, and then your teammate should understand and know when to take a step back and let my teammate work.
right.
You have to understand that. You have to see it.
Absolutely.
But if you still single or have the single mindset, it's always going to be a problem.
It's always going to be a problem. That's so profound what you just said
Mhm.
because team is like how can I understand my position unless I understand who I'm with? Right?
Right.
If you're with somebody who's highly intelligent on X, Y, and Z, you should let them be. You should stay in your position. You should stand down. You should keep your mouth shut. You should
Exactly.
ask more questions rather than try to give more instruction.
Exactly.
But at the same time, when you know that you are the superior in knowledge, intelligence, whatever it takes,
Mhm.
then you got to stand up.
Yeah.
Right? And especially if you are in a relationship with somebody who hadn't been through what you've been through.
Right.
Exactly.
Right? That knowing your position, when I say knowing your position, requires you to take ownership. That at a certain point, you got to recognize that your team member doesn't have the capacity to get y'all
Mhm.
where y'all need to be.
Woo.
And now you're going to have to pour into that person, explain, slow down, help, get them to understand. We're going to come back to this.
Oh,
because-
yeah. Shots fired on that one.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of shots fired on
Yeah,
that
I
one.
want to talk about that a little bit. We're going to go ahead and take our next break. I want you folks to stay tuned. I hope you are enjoying the show. We'll be right back. More Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
Well, we're about to come back and find out why the shots was fired. But it wasn't always the intent. But what I did like about is how we was bringing the different lanes. I think like now it's a challenge where we got to start looking at what's going on in our own relationships before we start judging others.
Right.
I think that was one of the major things in this that I want us to have a conversation, because if you're not dealing with your issues, I promise you'll probably run.
Yeah.
And I really don't want us to run, because sometimes the person you with wants to be with you. That communication is starting to fall apart. If we can get it back, we might be able to run together to do more things.
It takes openness right at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It takes openness that you might be wrong and there might be another way.
Okay.
It takes openness that the person who you might not like and who might have did all this wrong stuff could be saying something to you that is right on point. And now, even after all that they did, they're trying to put you in a better place. You got to humble yourself. That is the key to this equation: is humility and humbling yourself.
True.
And so, you know, you just can't be a know-it-all in this world, you know. And I want you guys to carry on this conversation. I have about a 1 minute excerpt here in the moment while you guys carry this on. But oh, go ahead. You want to say something?
Well, when you was saying what you were saying, you was speaking to men, because I can't see a woman accepting that.
What do you mean? Being open?
Being wrong.
Being wrong. You know,
Let me
that's
ask
a
you a
big
question.
problem. That's a big problem.
Out of all of your relationships with women, how many of them, when they were wrong, actually said, you know something?
They don't own up to their wrong.
That's my fault.
Woo!
I apologize.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired.
I'm
gonna tell y'all right now, I am not condoning what's going on right now. Bar Talk with Jay about to get the studio toe up, and I don't know who about to come up.
I'm just asking a question.
You asked a question that's going to be very interesting. Listen,
It's just a question.
it's a question that a lot of people
I'm on show.
ain't really going to be honest about. Let's just get it like this.
That's-
Even when some of them are
That's
wrong.
when you in your lane. The only way you can be in your lane and hold your position is when you're willing to admit that, hey, I messed up in this position.
But they don't do that. So what do we do about that?
I would like to say again, and you got a point.
What they do with this?
You got a point.
You know, that's good.
But what I like about it is you want to see it. And what he's saying is kind of true, because a lot of times they don't want to admit it, so they want to reflect back to a wrong of yours.
Yeah.
Now, see, this is where we're not really growing. We're really antagonizing each other. It's not going where we want. But bottom line is, I might have been wrong, but you did some wrong too, and that can go both ways. Me and Emily.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you just don't like to be proven wrong at a time that you thought you was right. But it is sometimes we have to digress and recognize, but just be more open to hear, to receive, to see where the wrong might be. Because sometimes it is your perception. It is where you thought it was.
Where you thought it was.
And it was not factual.
Right.
And now they gave you the facts. You got a facts check at this point. But some people don't want to do that. It's easier to reflect. Man, please.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get that to you.
Yeah.
I remember last time, you wrong as hell.
Yeah.
You know, they quick to go there to deal with what's in front.
Or rather than truly acknowledging that you are right and there's probably a better way, they'll go off on their tangents. You know what I'm saying? And
I got somebody got some opinions over there. He's shaking.
I just don't understand.
Don't let the coronavirus stop you.
Yeah. And so what is the man's position when a woman takes that stance? She knows she was wrong. You know she was wrong. But you know, how do you position yourself when they take that stance? You just gotta be humble and take the shit.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you live with the person or not?
Yeah. You love them. You live and love them. You're in a
You
relationship.
live with them or you don't?
Yes.
Because it's
You
two
live.
different answers.
You live with them.
I want both.
We're talking about relationships.
I want both because I don't live with it. I need to hear both. Because I'm sitting there at home. You put it right there, pal. So give me both answers.
Okay.
Give me both answers.
Okay. If you don't live with them,
Yeah, give me mine first.
Which one?
you don't.
You don't live with it.
You don't live with them?
Nope.
Block.
You ghosted him. I had that already said. Okay.
But listen.
We tried multiple times. It didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
You still feel that you were correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Be right by yourself.
Bye.
But see, but what's
Yeah.
going to happen is, if we know that's the average tendency of women not to admit their wrongs, accept their wrongs, then the next one is going to be the same way, right?
Okay.
So you're just going to be firing people. You know, you're just going to keep firing them. Just
You have been fishing?
Yeah.
Okay. You ever caught fish that you ain't like and throw them back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And then I say, what did I do? Like, okay.
And you wonder why he run through so many people.
Same thing.
That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy.
I don't know about a great, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a whole like tendency. That's what I'm saying. Sounds like a whole like tendency to me.
I'm just saying.
You ain't making me look good when I asked you about it.
Hey, you get the fish and you pull it up and you look like, nah. You can go back.
Can you help the ones that stay with?
Okay.
You just told me up.
I mean, that's
Okay.
if you're single.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Now, if you're in a relationship,
If you're in a relationship.
what do you do?
You live with them.
You live with
Yeah.
them.
And you love them.
And you've been with them for a little while, and you're in a relationship. You may even have kids, a home together. You got a life together. This is a relationship.
What's the number to call me?
Unfortunately, you're going to have to eat crow.
You need a number. You need a number.
You need a-
You need a number.
You don't need to know you got a mic right there.
We come from baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you do? And it's such a hard.
Unfortunately,
I get you one.
you're going to have to eat crow.
That's so hard.
So, whoa, let me get this right.
You
So,
want to get on the mic real
as a
quick?
single man,
You got
I
2
can
minutes.
cast him away. Now I got to eat crow.
Hold on.
If
You made me want to stay single.
Hey, we got Dr. B in the house.
Yeah, I seen him.
Yeah.
You're going to have
He
to eat
came from the baseball field.
Go ahead.
What's happening, gentlemen?
That's all.
crow.
Give us some insight on this,
And
man.
listening audience.
All right.
So, no, this is a good conversation. I'm over about to bust a gut laughing. Because, I mean, this is a rich and real conversation.
Mhm.
And what I know is I ain't going to put the number of women I dated before I got married out there, but
Yeah, that's a
I
lot.
dated a lot of women before I got married. And I had to get some certification to begin doing some work in this world around domestic violence and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
After I finished taking that class, that's those certifications and everything, the next woman that I met, we've been together now going on 21 years.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Congrats.
And there's a large part of me prior to that would have just given in, submitted, and all that. But that just leads to problems down the road, because what that basically is doing, you know when grandma used to cook them collard greens and put them on the stove, put that pressure cook on, let them cook for a while,
Yes, sir.
and the more that pressure build up, you know what I'm saying?
Start
Whistling. That pressure's releasing, right?
You know about
So in a relationship, if I'm steadily just giving in, so we ain't. Well, no, I don't see no pressure releasing the top of none of our heads.
Right.
So what do we do with that pressure? Eventually, it's gonna come out.
It's gonna come out.
So as opposed to just giving in, no, we don't give in. What you do is you let her know if she hurt your feelings in any kind of way, she wrong. You let her know she wrong,
Right.
Okay.
right? But do it in a loving way, in a way that she don't feel like you talking down to her, you being condescending,
Hold on.
angry.
No. She just came at us from the left.
It's kind of hard.
And now we got to bold ourselves.
So you can call
we
me.
gotta
You can call me the N-word if you want to,
You
right?
gotta eat a
But
little crow.
it don't matter what you call me; it's what I answer to,
Right.
The other person, here's what we got to get: people gonna do us wrong our whole lives.
Right.
How we respond to that is what makes us no better than them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point I want to make. Just because somebody cussed me out, doesn't mean I got to turn around and cuss them out. Now that I'm claiming I ain't that person.
But what
Because I beat him.
I hear you.
You cuss me out. Oh, I'm meeting your ass
Right there.
Your word. I'm gonna make you cry.
Look at all that energy you wasted. Look at that.
It wasn't no waste. It was wasted when you started with me.
But
I'm gonna take it to a whole nother level.
Okay, let me say this. I'm sorry. Let me say this last piece, right?
What's that?
I'm egging you on a little bit more because I wanted to get to this point, right?
Okay.
Come on.
This boy crazy. So, so what's happening a lot of times in those moments? So you got a part of your brain called your prefrontal lobe, right? It tells you what choice to make. In that argument with her right now, they tell you what choice to make within 100 milliseconds,
Okay.
That's fast.
right?
okay.
So now you got your amygdala. That's housed in your limbic system, right? That controls your reactivity. It tells you how to respond within 500 to 600 milliseconds.
Okay.
And here's what it.
That's slow.
Go ahead.
Now here's where the issue comes in. It doesn't register time. So what that means is trauma that you might experience as a 10-year-old, right? You out running, jogging. That's traumatic for you. The dog get behind you, get on them heels, start right? That's a traumatic experience, right?
Right.
You go out right now, 30, 40, 50 years old. You never had no no therapy, nothing around that healing around that trauma. Now you 30, 40, 50 years old, you go out running, right? You hear a dog bark for 500 to 600 milliseconds. Your brain is not identifying with you as that adult.
Right.
It's
You still that kid.
It's identified with that child, right?
Right.
And it's oftentimes not about what is happening right now,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so we put all that energy in there, and it's wasted energy because that's not where it should go.
Okay.
And a lot of times our manhood feeling challenged, and we've been taught this craziness about our manhood.
Okay.
Don't let nobody look at you. Don't let nobody say nothing
Right.
before you know it.
Yes.
Before you know it, you done choke somebody out. Well, I just shook her a little bit.
Watch this.
No, I'm right. I pushed all the way down. I may have pushed
Let me get to this because this is
Go ahead.
good. This is
All
good.
right.
All right. So now you realize that your wife or girlfriend or whoever have had some trauma. And so now it's my position to help manage her healing in the trauma. Because otherwise I'm looking at a default. I clearly see the default. So do I, I'm now going to have to big up and say, you know what? I'm going to have to talk a little sweeter. I'm going to have to be, and that's going to have to be the life I live to be in a relationship with them.
That's not what I'm saying. That's part of it. That's part of it. But what has happened in those moments, right? I know you got problems.
Yeah,
right? But I'm not going to allow you to mistreat me.
Right.
I'm going to be as whatever I can with you.
Right.
If it gets to the point I can't deal with you and we can't be together, but I still can love you and support you if I can get you some help, whatever you need, right? But I don't continue to subject myself to this. But the problem is, everything we've been talking about our manhood and not leaving and not quitting starts to fill in those moments also.
Right.
Starts to filter in my mind. We start to hear these things.
Right.
We start to see daddy, uncle, and this, that, and the third.
missing.
Right?
Right.
And unfortunately, this is unhealthy manhood. That's destructive manhood. We need constructive manhood.
How do you get that with a woman, man, who want to miss you wrong?
You have to understand that in order for it to work, the person has to acknowledge that they have an issue and that they're battling with it.
That's right.
And if they don't, you can't get them help
That's
because they
That's
haven't
right.
acknowledged it.
Now you have a choice to make, right? Now you know. Now I know this person, if I'm still being mistreated, I can no longer put this on that person. I'm making a choice to stay. We can't say because I got kids. I can't say because I got, well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
We can't allow those things to keep us in a relationship, gentlemen, and we're being treated bad and we're getting that treatment. Boy, I wish I could stay all night. I got my son out here.
Yeah, I wish you could.
You know, I mean,
But what you,
you can come in.
but what you just posed, it's kind of Irish. What you just posed though was a great challenge because we would constantly be quitting. And we would constantly be we got to find that way to really experience the depth and breadth of love in the midst of seeing someone's faults.
That's right.
And that is the greatest challenge probably in love.
Especially when we've broken ourselves and we don't know it.
Especially when we're broken ourselves and we don't know it.
But the thing is, you have to be able to admit it and work at it as a team and your positions. Other than that, it's you're a ship in the sea with no sail.
Watch this. And we didn't rehearse this. If y'all can finish this, finish it. A man's home is his what?
A man's home is his what?
Castle.
We didn't rehearse this.
Right.
But we all know it.
We all know it.
If I'm the king,
Right. You're the king.
what everybody else in here?
The servants.
That's my queen.
Right? My queen, right? But that's not what it's called. You didn't say the king and queen, Castle.
Yeah.
You said the king. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And we expect certain. When we got problems, I expect my word to be
bold.
But she's a grown ass woman.
Right.
And
she's
that's
a grown woman.
Oh boy, I wish I could be.
Yeah.
I do too.
She's a grown woman.
You're a grown ass man. You're a grown ass woman.
That's right.
If you have to say it, you ain't grown.
There it is. If you got the ass, you got problems.
Whoa! We gotta go to break on that one. We gotta go to break.
You crushed it.
We gotta go to break on that one.
B, you crushed it, boy.
Man, we got some
Oh
problems. Like,
man, I wish we could get him in a little more, man. Look, that was good. That was good as it gets.
I might be in trouble when I get home.
You folks,
you are. You might not go home.
we're gonna
You
come
gonna
back.
leave here, but I don't know where you going.
I'll stay on June night.
with Jay right after this.
All right, welcome back with Bar Talk with
Welcome
Jay.
back. Thank you so much, Booby. Always
Booby,
on
you
point,
working
man.
hard.
Yeah, man.
You working hard in the bank.
Might need a raise, man. or
Let's
something.
see it.
Hold on. Hold on. Before y'all think, hey, we need that sidebar.
Let's say next year the cost of living increasing.
You know, everybody getting
Coronavirus. Coronavirus.
Yeah. So, what a great set, man. My boy B stopped by. Bernard Ellis is his name,
Yes.
and he does domestic violence classes for a couple of counties here, right here in Atlanta, and have been doing it for many, many years. You know, been there, done that, et cetera, et cetera. Got a lot to offer, and you know, it would have been so nice to have him. I'm gonna step away in just a moment and try him and see if we can get him back. Because I'm sure his mind is just racing right now.
Yes.
He like, man, I wish I could have just came to the studio and just stood here for a while. But tonight we are talking about, in a relationship, do you know your position? And it's a very intriguing dialogue because at first we really didn't know where to go. At first we were kind of dancing at the surface, but we really started to get down into something that I think makes sense. And we were talking basically about when people don't admit that they're right or don't want to accept their wrongs, and you know, how do you deal with that? You know, and is it my position to constantly deal with your lack of vision or your inability to see the future or your inability to make decisions or inability to manage money or whatever those wrongs may be? You know, you're not spending enough time with the kids. You play too much this, that, whatever. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm loving what you're saying because again, what I liked about it is how you try to give it back, and I like that because I told him I meet people.
Mm-hmm.
You come to me with a question, I'm meeting you, and like you said, you're wasting that energy.
Me force
and,
with force.
and all day long. Because my whole thing is, you come aggressive to me, and I ain't come aggressive to you. I try to stay calm. My number one thing is I'm not gonna get anything done yelling back at you.
Right.
At that point, it's just a fussing match.
Right.
And most things is missed because you're not going to be hearing me because I'm yelling at you because I'm not really hearing you because you're yelling at me.
Right.
So I try to digress and I try to learn. To why you're yelling, I'm trying to understand what angle I need to come because you are already hot.
Right.
I'm not just going to try to calm you down. I want to make sense out of the rhetoric that you're giving me. At that point, I can make a conscious decision on where I want to.
But see, oh man, this is good. This is good. Here's the thing. In those times, those discussions where we're trying to get some understanding, it seems like, and I want to say that I could be wrong in this, right? This is the old cliche, is that men say things because they're about the right things to do. Men do things because it's the right things to do. Women do things to be right. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the midst of that, in trying to get to some understandings with them. You know, what I really want to say, Jay, is that you said it ain't about the feelings; it's about trying to get to the bottom line. But you're not going to be able to get to the bottom line until you address their feelings. You see, and one may come before the other. We know the facts may come before the feelings. But yet the feelings are so twisted now, we got to deal with the feelings before we can ever address the facts. And I think that's ass backwards.
However, you understand, you realize that facts have nothing
To do with feelings.
Nothing.
To do with feelings.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing to do with feelings.
I know that. I know that. No matter how you feel, here's what took place. And because this is what took place, it created all of these
Create
feelings.
your feelings.
It is second cause, not first cause. First cause is what the hell happened. The money was spent. You missed the time frame. Da 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 da. But you know, go ahead.
Facts trump feelings every single day. Women,
feelings trump facts every single day. Right? Listen, and here's the point: that if you are trying,
men are from Mars,
women are from Venus. Watch
women
this.
are from Venus.
Watch this. If you are trying to address the issue, right, and you want to talk about the facts, right, and somehow or another you come across just how you try to deliver the message, you come across in a way that rubs her the wrong way. You come across arrogant. You come across like you know it all. You come across like you don't care.
As soon as that point is made, everything else that you said, you know what it comes across? Want.
But listen, the point is that as soon as you came across that way, you impacted her feelings. And now, no matter what you are talking about, the more important thing in her mind is that you hurt her feelings. Because you brought it up. Listen, this ain't me. This is the way it works. And you know this is how it works.
Oh, I ain't saying it don't.
This is what goes on. This is why so many arguments happen, because they are constantly needing their feelings addressed, and you are constantly wanting to talk about the facts. And at the end of the equation, you look at the facts and say, shit, I'm right as fuck. I know damn well I ain't wrong. I'm looking at this. I've been through this 1,000 times.
That is why so many arguments are never resolved.
Never resolved. That's exactly right.
So,
that's exactly
I
right.
love
Because you and your feelings.
You and your feelings.
Why you in your feelings? For what? We talking
Especially-
about A, B, and C. Okay,
Right.
I said something hurt your feelings. I apologize.
Right.
Can we move on? No.
No.
Why not? Why we can't move on?
You can't move on. You can't move on because the feelings haven't been addressed.
I just apologize. I said I apologize. I hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Can we move on?
Okay, but listen.
No. What
Okay.
you want me to do?
Hold on.
I don't know yet.
Hold on
What you
now.
mean you don't know? I just asked you.
Hold on. You apologize, right?
Uh-huh.
You apologize for the things that cause these challenged feelings, right?
Correct.
But as soon as you get done accepting the apology, you want to talk about this thing again. And
Why?
now, well, you hadn't got no understanding now. You just,
For what?
you started trying to talk about it, and the feelings came in. And so now you had to address the feelings. You apologize for addressing the feelings. Now let's go back to the issue. Baby, you shouldn't do this. You can't do it that way, right? Let me give you an
No,
extreme
because she's
example.
still in her feelings.
Let me give you an extreme example, right? This is an extreme example.
Extreme.
This is extreme.
We going extreme.
This is
I like
extreme simplicity.
Oh.
I got it.
All right?
No, you can't be extreme and then be simplicity.
Yeah, you
No,
can.
no,
It's
no.
not
Let's hear
complex. It's not
Let's hear it
complex.
first.
It's not
Go ahead.
complex. It's just
Let's
Let's
it's
hear it.
Because
Go ahead.
I'm like extreme and
It's all right.
argumentative.
He want to teeter totter.
No,
It's
We
not
gonna
even
balance it
right
out when he say it. Let me
You
hear it.
haven't even heard it, and you're asking questions.
You getting in your feelings.
Yes, relax.
You need a damn Snicker.
Okay.
Marcia.
Yeah,
Why before you make me forget the point, man?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, extreme simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
You're a high-level executive doing your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your wife is, she has her business, her life, whatever, but she has a tendency to, she dress sexy, real sexy, right? That's how she is.
Sexy or provocative?
Both, a little bit of both, right?
Hold on, now. Whoa.
Now don't stop the point. Now. Don't stop the
Okay,
point.
come on. All right.
She in that zone, right?
We gonna
And
come
so
back to
it's time to go to Christmas party, an event.
Mhm.
And she has a dress on that really don't fit the game, right? A dress that really is probably a little too much for it, right?
Mhm.
And
What do
you're
you
gonna
mean?
now how do you say to her that, honey, that dress is a little,
that.
a
Inappropriate.
little too short, inappropriate? I mean, how do you deliver that message to her? This is a simple, extreme, simple example. How do you deliver that message to her?
Where do you think you're going in that dress?
Now that is the common answer. That's the common answer.
That's the wrong answer,
But
though,
that's the
bro.
common answer.
Is that the common answer?
That's gonna be a common answer because
Where do you think you're going in that dress?
because next will be next comment
We,
one will be
you know we are going to a corporate event.
right.
Right.
That's not appropriate for what we're trying to.
Where do you think you're going in that dress? Now, if we were going out to a sports bar or whatever, okay, cool. Hey, by all means. Because I'm going to play a game with you. I'm going to let you go in by yourself. I'm trying to pick you up. That's what we going to do. But
You can't do that when that's your wife.
why you can't?
I mean, but so listen, again, extreme simplicity example. That
Where you going in that dress?
but see,
where you
when
think
you
you going?
but here's
I'm
what
gonna
you
give you.
did.
I'm gonna give you one that's even lighter or better.
Go ahead,
No,
lighter and better. That's what
You know,
we need.
because we're executive. Let's just keep it real.
We need lighter and better.
Lighter and better.
Yeah.
What about that dress I just bought you?
Hey,
That's gonna be a subtle, easier one because again, I know about this big event. So normally we shop somewhere together. So I got her a nice dress for it.
Mhm.
And again, I'll always remind her about the event we're about to do. It's a surprise because again, I want her to look her best. So now she doesn't put on a dress other than what I like. She picked her own and it's a little bit more provocative, showing a lot of things. And she looked good.
She looked good,
wrong. And I like showing her off from time to time. But to my business partners,
And
I'm not trying to get them to drool over what I already possess.
and
This
what
is the
you're
person
doing,
that's in my corner.
So
So
what you're doing at that point is you're diffusing the situation and highlighting that I really think you would look a lot better in this dress.
What you're doing?
Yeah,
You're
that's
selling. You're selling. That's what you're doing. You're not really telling. You're not telling her what the issue is. You're trying. And I get it. It's a great way. Listen,
You call it
especially
selling,
listen.
I call it diffusing.
the night. You don't want to ruin the night.
right.
Yeah.
And you could very easily ruin the entire night by
By
coming
wording.
across the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I use this simple, extreme example, but you know that happens across everything.
Mhm.
It happens across money. It happens across when you want to go out with your buddies, whatever. You know, you have to find a way to come across lovingly, magically, with some. You want to have something left at the end. Now, if you come up to her and say, "Where do you think you're going with that dress?" She's like, "I'm going out." I mean, who are you? You ain't my dad. Immediately, she's gonna be put on
In
the
her
defense.
feelings.
Immediately, she's gonna be put on the defense. You have put her in on the defense by what you have expressed to her.
She's swinging.
Right? And listen, and that is so when you get heat back, you should know that you created that heat because you didn't come at it correctly in the first place. And I think that's what husbands learn over time is that, hey, I do need to be careful with how I say things because she is more of a feeling person than, you know, the fact person. Now she's going to get to the facts some kind of way, you know, or she may weigh the facts on to 20%, but her feelings are worth 80%, and you know that's what we deal with. That's what we deal with in real life. So, yeah. So I think it's just important on how we deliver messages, and that is a part of knowing your position. If you come across rash, then you're going to have potential to blow the night. Even if you wanted to say something like, "Honey, you look great tonight, but I think that's a little more for the club. You know, I'm wondering if you know if there's there's another dress."
Because as soon as you say "but," you just
Killed
everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to deliver that message, but sometimes you gotta deliver, and sometimes you don't have to deliver, right? Well, what you do is you kind of let them play themselves, right? And you know, it'll be
In a
easy.
relationship or a marriage, which one are we talking about? Because in a marriage, you really don't want your wife to play herself.
You don't want her to. You don't want her to. No. But if you know that
You don't want her to,
if you
but
know that you don't have the ability
in a
to
relationship,
if
you can let her play herself because you really don't have too much to lose if you're in a relationship.
What do you mean?
If you are in a relationship and you choose to go take your girlfriend Christmas party, and you be like, "Hey, going to a corporate event, gonna meet my bosses and you know everything. Come pick you up at 9.
be ready. Hey, we got to be there at 9:30. You know, I already mapped out everything. Hey,
And
this is what I'm wearing.
and she gets in the car. Oh, okay, go ahead.
And this is what I'm wearing.
Okay.
Send her the suit, send her the tux, whatever. You know, you go and pick her up, and she has something on that you really don't appreciate, and it's not corporate.
She wearing knee-high boots, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
A short dress.
so you let her play herself,
Your date, but not your wife.
not your wife.
Okay, I like that. I like that. You,
Because if you say you're a protector and a provider, you not only have to protect your image, you have to protect your wife's image.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
I agree to some point. I'm not gonna let her play me.
That's why I said
If I'm going to a business meeting or if I'm doing something with my partners,
Mhm.
and you're a person that's dating me, and you think you're gonna bring your little whole outfit to my corporate function that I work hard for, I'm gonna tell you right now, player.
Jerry,
Remember you said this
Jerry,
is not my wife.
You shouldn't be so harsh.
I ain't get harsh. I'm reality.
No. You
No,
know,
she
right?
gonna be right where she
Can we
wants.
say provocative versus
Okay, okay. If she gonna show some things that can be in the strip club holding on to a
a
bubble,
provocative outfit?
you gonna be provocative wherever you want to go because it won't be with me.
Right.
We'll say a provocative
Okay, but that provocative is not what I need my corporate
Oh,
environment.
so harsh.
Okay, well, I know you ain't talking. You got all the tendencies. You can recognize.
Yeah,
So you
just-
can recognize what I ain't trying to
You just
show.
wouldn't put on a
You
short
know
dress.
more than I do.
I don't know about more. We took the same class. We took the same class. And I think it's going to A.
No, you
I
got
got
A plus.
I gotta be.
You got A plus.
Listen, sometimes the audience don't understand that history of humor y'all got going on.
Okay, this no I ain't score good.
So,
Oh, you
it's time for
scored
us to-
very well.
It's time for us to take another break. I want you folks to stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. A real
Right on
conversation. Real studio work like this, boy, there's a lot of work going on.
It's a lot of behind the scenes, and it normally is.
There's a lot behind the scenes. It is, man. And you guys do a great job putting the show together. So, okay, folks, tonight we are talking about being in a relationship. Do you know your position? People sometimes overplay their area, okay? And I want to bring up a subject that that happens commonly in households and in relationships. Is there a position? Tell me your thoughts on the position of the breadwinner in a household. Crickets.
Well, no. You know, my pops always told me, regardless of the situation that you're in, you pay the cost to be the boss.
Okay. You pay the cost to be the boss.
You pay the cost to be the boss. At the end of the day, you pay the cost to be the boss.
That's excellent.
It's one that I kind of go by, but I also look at today's time where I also look at, even though I pay the cost to be the boss, I look at my woman as a multiplier.
Yeah.
So I have to keep that communication so she can keep me growing in a way that I stay a boss. See, boss don't happen just with me. It happens with a completion of a vision. So a lot of times you have it and somebody can help tune you. And I like to say if you got the right one, she's in tune with you to help you be in a position to stay in a position where a lot of time we get out of position. All right? And that's when they start saying, okay, you starting to act different. Or like I said to you, you need a snicker.
Yeah.
When you start getting in your feelings, start acting a different way. That's when you need that person that know you and ride with you to get you back on task.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we get so much going on, our minds all over the place. Anybody in any kind of business knows you got to keep your head on the swivel and there's more things I got to do.
Mhm.
It's no laziness.
Yeah.
Anybody that's running something and doing something, is far from lazy.
Yeah.
That person is always thinking because the next person want to do the same thing too. I got to stay ahead of you. It's competition. It's huge. So you want somebody that's going to be aiding you and pushing you the same way that you already drive. And I like to say that's where we fall short. Some people want a trophy. A trophy does not do nothing but sit there. It look good, but it don't add value. That's why I told you we're going to a business meeting. I built this up. I can't have something that just looks good that don't add value. I have to be with somebody that shows her intelligence just like mine.
Yeah.
So I don't need her to look like something that I don't want to represent. My woman ain't no garden tool by any fashion or form, so she shouldn't be dressed to that. But remember, I said I will buy her a dress.
So watch this.
So if I want it to look a certain way, I'm going to make sure she looks a certain way.
Okay, and the breadwinner may have the ownership of doing just that,
But
right?
see-
I'm going to buy her a dress or take her out shopping for a dress for the event. And that way you can kind of manage things a little bit more. But what I'm getting to is that oftentimes breadwinners think that they have privilege or certain rights or certain control over things.
Mhm.
And I think it's a mistake to think that way. Because your partner is in the game with you, and she may not be adding the value that you're adding, the type of value that you're adding, but she's adding her own value.
Yeah.
Caring for the home and maybe taking care of the bills, maybe even taking care of the money. You might be the breadwinner, but taking care of money. I have a bad example of that, and I have a buddy of mine who is a breadwinner. You know, his wife hasn't worked in 25 years, right?
Okay.
And he believes that part of being a breadwinner, you know, he keep her laced up. She eat what she wants. She go where she want to go. She travel. She da-da-da-da-da. But keeping her laced up don't mean that you can be missing 2 or 3 nights a week, right? Keeping her laced up don't mean that you can come home when you want to, or you can leave out, or you don't have to explain where you're going or what you're doing. You know, that's when, you know, people are overplaying their area, and it's just an example of how many people think when they become the breadwinners, that they can, you know, they can do what they want to do. They hide money. They you know, they do a lot of things, and so
Shots fired.
Here's the thing.
Well,
Go ahead.
Okay, you said he's married.
Yeah, they're married. They're married.
She ain't working 25 years.
Yeah.
He decided he want to go out 3-4 days.
Yeah.
He doesn't let her know
I mean,
where he is.
he might say I'm going out, but he, you know, she'll never know where he at. You know what I mean? He just be gone, you know, a couple of 3 nights a week. And he think you know, he keep it laced up, bring the groceries home, you know what I'm saying? Everything's copacetic that he can do that. And in fact,
And you said he married?
Yeah.
He ain't married.
he is married.
He married.
He got damn indentured servant. That's what he has.
But
He what?
He has an indentured servant. That's what he has.
That's what he thinks he has.
No.
Right?
If you say he the breadwinner, she hasn't worked in 25 years, he keeps her laced up, and he goes missing or decide, hey, I'm be gone for a week, I'm be gone for a couple of days, he has an indentured servant.
Okay. And what does that mean?
Exactly what you just described, what he's doing.
Is that
She don't have to
is
work.
that right or wrong? Is that good or bad? Let's, you know, bring some morality to it.
I mean, that's what she chooses to be.
Oh, so you're suggesting that
I'm not suggesting.
his position is justified because she kind of accepts it, because she's taking, she's getting something, so she's supposed to let him do that. Well, what are you saying, man? You ain't Come on.
She's not accepting it. She's accepting it and she's tolerating it because she ain't got to do nothing.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
as an indentured servant, if master go off to get more slaves,
We're talking about a marriage here, man.
it-
Right?
I mean,
And you're positioning the wife as a slave. And that's what you're
she's
saying.
an indentured servant.
No,
I mean,
man.
thinking about okay, all right.
But you can't think about it that way, man. That's it's not right to even think about it that way.
It's a fact.
It's not right. to think
It
about
may
it
not
that
be
way.
right,
That's what I'm
but
pointing
it's
out.
still a fact.
It's not right.
She hasn't worked in 25 years.
Right.
She doesn't have to worry about food.
Everybody
She doesn't
knows the
have
scenario.
to. She
Yeah.
doesn't have to worry about clothes.
Nothing.
She's an indentured servant.
But it doesn't mean that she's not a good wife.
No, I never said she wasn't.
When he come home, he don't want for nothing. You hear me?
Still an
I'm talking
indentured
about this woman cleans on top of clean. His clothes is always on point. She got dinner ready for him. You know what I'm saying? She don't order food before he get home. You know, the toothpaste never go dry. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like she digging into him. And not an indentured servant. She's loving her husband. She's loving her husband the way a spouse loves their spouse. But he believes that his position as the breadwinner
Affords him.
gives him privilege that we know is not right. And that's the only point I'm taking here is that the question for tonight is, in a relationship, do you know your position? People sometimes overplay their position. Breadwinners often overplay their positions. And whether the person is taking it or whether they just kind of coping with it, because the reality is they don't want to leave because they can't sustain themselves like that. That's a problem. You know what I mean? So maybe they I need to go mess around or something, right? That's what you would suggest, right? They need to go find something else to fill in the gaps when he gone.
No, I'm not saying that.
You say-
I'm saying that she's an indentured servant. I didn't say anything about when he go out, she may have something else on the side, anything like that. I am just saying the role that she is playing and the role that he is playing. He's the boss. He's the captain. She doesn't want for anything. She does not have to work. The only thing she does is cook and clean and be there when he needs him. She's an indentured servant.
Now, I hear you say that. And one of the
Wrong for that.
and again, that's his perception.
Wrong for that.
And that's his opinion. I'm not gonna say no more than that. It definitely his. It's a bit much, and I'm gonna say, I can't say you're wrong because there's a situation where that might fit. That's gonna be a category.
Because the question is, she hasn't worked for 25 years.
You keep saying that, man. Everybody know that.
Okay, no. What I'm saying is, what does she bring to the table?
No, hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
And, no. And
Ooh, you
I'm
just
about to have fun now.
yeah, okay. What does she bring to the table? And also, can she sustain herself?
No, hold on. This is where I like to tell you about a multiplier. Because when he chose her, he seen something special in her because he married her. Okay, so it's past this the dating. Now this person is giving you all the fortitude to be able to be in that position where you at because everything at the house is handled.
It's handled.
So all
Exactly.
She's taking care of it.
Remember what? Because you that man. Because remember, being a man sometimes can make you over. Because you can
Hold on.
you can really throw yourself when you don't understand yourself. Now this person understands you. So she holding you down and she's making sure all the things that's on a home level, I don't have to work because I supply all of your needs and then when you talk to me, I feed you.
Right.
Now to you, I feel like I can do whatever I want to because again, I'm making the money, you're not. At that point, you're over privileging yourself because you're not thinking about the other, you're thinking of self. She ain't working. But remember, what she's doing, she's multiplying all the stuff that you still bringing in. Give me a second. As she's multiplying, you're forgetting. You're forgetting when you go how she handles everything. House front, kids, and responsibility to all bills. You don't have to pay a bill. Remember, you make the money. You go there, you make your things happen. She make it happen on the backside. You forget about it because you don't have to think about it. Remember, she's a multiplier. At that point, your ego is what's gonna screw you. Because
There it
to
is.
you,
There it is.
I can do whatever because of what all I do.
Ego.
To her, I sacrifice and I don't work because I work for you. We are a unit.
Right.
I don't need to go clock for somebody else. I clock my man to keep my man straight.
And what-
My man don't have to worry about nothing because I got him.
And that's the
So she working when you don't think. She ain't twerking.
Yeah.
It's all for you.
Yeah.
But to you, it gets old stagnant because what you do, I always got to see because I'm always doing these business deals. I know what money I'm bringing. So now I'm looking at the money and I know everything is covered. So what do you say? I put some money to the side. Now I can do a little trick off because again, at one time it was tight. We didn't have it. Now I got some extra. I can do whatever. And you forget who always had you. Don't lose your multiplier. Because all them deals might leave you by yourself.
Right.
No,
Go ahead.
I understand.
Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
The question was, in a role, do you overstep your bounds? Now, to get back to that, I would say yes, because the statement was that he make the money, she don't, she does what she does. She works for him. Like you said, I give her credit for that. But at the end of the day, if he's just out and she don't know, to me, she's an indentured servant.
Harsh words, not harsh words.
No.
So let's.
Due to the fact of the topic.
She's his wife, and there's a man. Do you know
No.
how often that happens?
No,
you know how many
no,
grandmamas are still at home while the papa's been working 35 years, bro? They're not an indentured servant. They're a part of the family. That's cool. They're part of the family. They're part of the team. They're part of.
That's why we have an open discussion, an open dialogue, because what you feel may be right and what you feel may be wrong, I may not feel that way.
Right.
I know, but you're wrong. Your feelings are wrong. I mean, think about my grandfather took care of my grandmother all her life. She ain't never had to do nothing. But you know what she did? Boy, it was fresh fish around there. She made sure that people cut the grass. She you know what I'm saying? The household was strong always.
And
He had pumpkin pies,
and like
sweet
Jerry
potato
said,
pies for holidays.
I don't have to work for anyone because I work for you.
With you.
He
Because
said,
she could go out and make her ends meet if she wanted to or had to.
however,
If he fell short, she
the
would go make
statement,
her
the
ends meet.
statement that you run is
Stop.
overstepping your
That is-
role.
In every
Because
relationship.
you stated that
In
he
every
goes
relationship.
missing for a couple of days and she may not know where he is.
I'm-
That's an indentured servant.
And I am in
If she knows where he is and everything like that, then okay, we working with a marriage. But if she has no clue
it happens
and
often.
he goes missing,
It happens often.
there's an indentured
It
servant.
happens often.
Let me
There's
tell
a
you-
lot of men. There's a lot of men. A lot of women who will say that my man, he pay all the bills to run the household. You know what I mean? I can't say nothing if he go out. He just, what I'm saying, they just take the shit like it ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
Let
It
me-
ain't right.
Let me go ahead and just throw my ass under the bus
Go ahead.
with this whole conversation because I'm gonna help a lot of people out. I made more money than my wife when I was married. I always did. And I started feeling to myself kind of what Phil was saying, but never thought about my wife as an indentured servant. But what I did do is I forgot about she was my lifelong partner. So as I'm dealing with stuff and people talking in my ear and I'm making moves, I know her moves are always smaller than mine. So when she did start working, she was working lower end jobs.
Right.
So I encouraged her to take more high end jobs, and build her up. So she started doing it and she's doing her thing and I'm doing mine. Now, as I keep on doing what I'm doing, I start realizing she's starting to be a beast and I'm not paying her no more attention. I'm starting to pay attention to other people make moves. I forgot about the one that was rocking with me and rolling with me. I started paying attention to other people because I wanted to have other green grass.
Right.
I didn't take the time to realize what was making these grass green. I was just wanting to be that person, and I forgot about the person that was helping making me somebody that looked like a nurturer.
Right.
I couldn't nurture nothing.
Right.
I could kill all things if I touch, but the bottom line, what I was trying to do was be a bigger me, forgetting about her.
Yeah.
Now, the craziest thing is after we divorced and we went through our craziness, she became a beast.
Yeah.
The things she wasn't doing when she was with me, she's doing now. She has high positions. She makes a lot of money. And at that time, that's what I wanted to do. But I forgot about, but she didn't forget. She was doing.
Right.
So while you out there wanting something, understand what you have. Because when you with a real multiplier, she gonna show you even if you stay with her or don't.
Yeah.
But when you with somebody that's just sucking you dry
Something you right.
and really feel like she's an indentured servant,
Right.
Yeah.
she ain't gonna do half the shit a real woman would want to do.
That's right.
She ain't gonna multiply. She gonna divide
Yeah.
your wealth into hers.
Yeah.
And then you gonna have half of yours
Yeah.
before you ever knew it, when it could have been times way more.
Mm-hmm.
It stood to a point where I remember they took it to the third power, bro. When everything just enhanced off of words that she said that she seen in me.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta understand when you with the right one. The wrong one always encourage you to bring more for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's them, as in kids, the house.
Mm-hmm.
But when a person sees something great in you, they speak to you.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to watch when it's a relationship. Go for greatness, not for words.
Go for greatness, not for words. And we're going to take another break. We'll be right back. Bar Talk with Jay, and we got about 10 minutes before we close out here. It's been some real interesting dialogue tonight. What have you guys
Yes,
gotten
sir.
out of this?
I'm
Have you
gonna,
learned anything, or you just think everybody else crazy?
no, I'm going to say on the upfront, these are our opinions. So again, this is something that bring you to the table to get you to talking. One of the things I don't want to discount is a lot of people feel like that's not how I see things. I don't know how. We don't. But we all got our different views, and our whole thing is to get you to the table for you don't have to have a reckless life. For me to tell you about things that went on in my marriage is not for me to say no more. Then it's a stepping stone at this point. It's no shame. I can tell you because I had to learn from it.
Mhm.
And again, when I was doing these big business moves, and now I still was able to talk to my ex-wife in a way, in a form that I promise you, we're more in tune now than we was then because I let my ego get the best of me.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen to anybody else because again, it seems like you're doing it all by self. But if I remember when I got married, it was about a unity.
Yeah.
I would have stopped some of the selfish things that I was doing, but I went back to a selfish way.
Yeah,
And that's a destroy.
let me tell you, Jay, I think you nailed the show with that one, being in a selfish way. This topic, in a relationship, do you know your position? People sometimes overplay their area. It's not just about relationships. It's not just about interpersonal relationships. It's about life and relationships in life. That no matter what relationship that you're in, you have a position to play, right? And sometimes that position is defending yourself. Sometimes that position is, no, let me be quiet so I can learn a lot, so I can gain favor with these people who can take me to my next level. Sometimes that position is being a leader. One of the things we haven't talked about in the show thus far is that, see, leadership is a shared position. And that just because you are the breadwinner don't mean you make all the things happen that need to happen in a relationship, right? And so sometimes when she knows more or she handles this part of life, she needs to hold her position, and she might tell you, don't spend no money this week. Because she's watching the books. She see what just happened. We had an emergency room visit, had to pay those bills, This week, you're going to eat from home.
Yeah.
Right? And so, everybody's got to play their position. He can't be like, well, no, the hell with that. I'm going to eat my normal $20 lunch at Applebee's. You cannot do that, right? Leadership has to be shared. And in sharing leadership, one ultimately has to understand their position. Right? I don't know as much about this or about that, or this person leads it or runs it. There's always a quarterback and there's always a receiver. And we got to figure out sometimes in a relationship, who is the quarterback and who's going to be the receiver. Right? And if you work together, there's that teamwork again, then, knowing your position can make it much easier. understanding shared leadership can make it much easier. Do you know your position when it comes to, as we close out, sex?
Hold on.
You're in a relationship. Do you know your position?
You done add a whole different topic.
As we gotta close out with
That's
that.
a whole different topic.
I just wanted to touch on it a little
Okay,
bit before we go.
Let me. Okay.
Try for it.
No, we ain't touching that. We gonna hit that next week. Okay. So
You just can't speak on it right now. Is that what I'm hearing?
no, I can speak on it,
What's your position in the relationship?
but that's two segments.
When it comes to sex,
That's-
just tell us real quick. What's your
That's two
position?
segments.
What's your position?
What's my position on sex?
Yeah, in the household when a relationship with sex.
Yeah, I'm King Kong, motherfucker. No.
With 3
Yo,
minutes and
God,
some
never
seconds. You can't count with 3 minutes and some seconds.
Hey, that's all we need.
You call me 3 minutes don't go together.
King Kong in 3 minutes.
He climbed up on that.
But
King Kong probably could accomplish his goal in 3 minutes.
exactly. Look, exactly. But in knowing your position and knowing your role and not overstepping your bounds, it circles back to communication and understanding.
Absolutely.
Because if we can communicate effectively and we get an understanding from that communication, I understand my role, you understand yours.
Yes.
And at that point, we go back to what Jerry said, unity.
Unity. Absolutely.
And that goes back to the sexual aspect as well. What he said is key, because one of the things I would tell you is what your role is to keep her in tune.
To keep her in tune. To keep
You know,
her.
the bottom line is the sexual atmosphere.
Yeah.
And again, we are hunters.
So we going sex.
Said
We
what?
already did. We already
We
did.
going sex.
We already just did. And one of the reasons why we went there
No,
is
y'all went sex. I was still on the road.
I use your analogy in the same thing he asked. Where would it fit in the sexual role? And again, it goes back to you being more dominant. And remember, you're a hunter. You got to keep her interest. The same thing that you ran after
That
and you
goes
wanted.
both ways.
And again, one of the reasons I'm saying that is since you hunted and you ran after, you also got to keep after.
Yeah.
You can't just grab it,
And
hook it,
Yeah.
and throw it back. It's past the dating
Why
because that's your wife. You can't
Oh.
keep throwing her back out there.
That's right. You
Because
got,
she might get hooked on somebody else's
I was
boat.
talking about single then.
you got.
Well, yeah.
Listen.
When I used the fish analogy, I was talking about being single.
We know what he did.
Listen. What Jay is suggesting is that yes, you absolutely have to keep her tuned up. You gotta take her out. You gotta talk to her. You gotta love on her. You gotta, you gotta communicate. You gotta hear her pains, her stories. That is your role. That is your position. If she comes, telling you about what happened, your position is. You will deny your position if you say, I don't want to talk about that, baby. Or maybe you're wrong.
But
You cannot do that.
in the position as the protector and the provider, when you realize there's issues and you want to get help for those issues, it's just like a horse when you're trying to get them to drink and they don't want to. So then at that point, where's your outlet?
Well, you gotta understand. Why don't she want to?
Because you
What?
haven't addressed the feelings.
Right.
And that's what
Remember, you're going off of one action, but you're not going off.
feelings.
Well, that's the problem, right?
Have you even addressed the problem?
Have you even addressed it?
No,
And
we
then the
address the problem, but we didn't address the feelings because the feelings is the feelings, and
Yeah.
we talking about facts.
Listen,
So,
you were
remember-
satisfied when you addressed the problems, but she wasn't she wasn't satisfied.
Because
She
you never addressed the
Because
feelings.
never addressed the feelings.
Yeah.
You
So
know what I
now
mean?
you won't be in the show Mars because again, that right there is gonna cause that divide.
Yeah.
So again, you gotta find ways to meet
play
each
your
other
position. Play your position.
because you ain't in position.
Right.
It's like playing a game and y'all ain't playing right.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't gonna win.
That's-
My whole thing is, as a coach, y'all don't look good as a team. Okay. Now I'm watching y'all, and I don't think y'all gonna win together, and y'all don't even look good separate. You ain't playing right.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is to get you to play right,
Yeah.
to be right.
Right.
And-
Play your position. Do what you are supposed to do. And that's not getting in interpersonal relationships. That's in your business relationships too,
But see,
right?
when you talking about playing your position, it's hard for some people to, because when you talk about playing your position, when you're playing your position, sometimes you have to relinquish control.
Right. You have to be vulnerable.
And for a lot of people, vulnerability is a sign of weakness.
Right. Right. But it does not happen.
But again, that's a taught thing. It's a sign of weakness that you was taught. Some
Yeah.
things you need to
Doesn't mean
unteach.
that
Yeah, but
If
love
you're
requires vulnerability.
I would like that, not just love. I like to say
That's
responsibility in growing. Because remember, that vulnerability that you show is an enhancement that she will protect.
in order to
When
grow,
you with the
have to
right
be
person. She's not looking to hurt you.
Right.
She's looking to expand you. Without her seeing your vulnerabilities, she can't enhance. She's a multiplier. You're not giving her nothing to multiply. Give it to her. And she should do. If
Man.
she's the right one for you.
Yeah, man.
In order to grow, you have to be vulnerable.
And so, listen, it's important that each man and woman know for this. You have to pour in, you got to feed your relationships. And your position is to feed the relationship. Sometimes that means being quiet, sometimes that means speaking up, but you got to pour in. And that's the key to the whole equation. This has been our show for tonight. And we appreciate you folks being here with us. We hope you have enjoyed the show. A lot
Yes,
of great
sir.
dialogue and a lot of good points came out tonight. I want to thank you, Brother Phil, for being in the house.
Appreciate the cameo.
Yeah. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. We are here every week Thursday, Facebook Live from 7 to 9 p.m. We hope that you can like us, share us, subscribe. Like us, share us, subscribe. We're on all the platforms: Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're all over the internet, not to include Bar Talk with Jay. And so, I'm sorry? Oh yeah, let's not forget our boy came through. Bernard Ellis B came through with a strong set. Wasn't here but about 5-10 minutes and
Hey,
stirred the place up. You
that's
know?
what all it takes when you give wisdom.
All you need is
Anytime.
impact.
There you go. So thank you folks for being with us. We love you. We appreciate you. Come back and see us. And with that, folks, we are out.
Bar Talk with Jay.